Hello and welcome back to LBG Reviews. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Today we're talking about Arranger, a role-puzzling adventure. In Arranger, you play as Gemma, a unique girl who moves around the world differently than others around her. Rather than moving from tile to tile in this tile-based world, the tiles move around her. Gemma moves to the right. Everything on the right and left move to the right. She hits a wall. Gemma can go through the wall and end up on the opposite side of the room. So let's say you're in a 2 foot by 2 foot by 2 by 6 feet cube. Gemma wouldn't hit the wall and stop moving. Gemma would appear on the opposite side of the room. But there are special objects in the game that prevent you from being able to move past them. And if other objects in the area interact with those objects, all of a sudden you can't move that way because, oh, something else is hitting that object. Now, the game doesn't really have any accessibility features, and that's okay. It is a puzzle game, first and foremost. You have to attack monsters with swords, but the monsters don't move, they don't attack you. And basically, it's more about trying to navigate the world, trying to navigate with Gemma's abilities, rather than about quick movements, quick thinking. So you can take all the time in the world to, say, remap your controls through external software. The game doesn't allow you to do it normally, but you can take all the time in the world to remap your controls, sit there and piece together what you have to do. It isn't a very stressful game in that regard. So, as an example, the first part of the game sees Gemma leaving her hometown for the first time, but in order to leave, she has to first find a place to put all the stuff she's accumulated while living there. You first go to the town mage. The town mage doesn't want your stuff. You go to the town mayor. The mayor doesn't want your stuff. So you go to an abandoned house in the village that has been abandoned for a long time. You find a wardrobe that has the door open. So you go back to the flop house to push your stuff into the wardrobe, and then you get given the key to leave the village. But the bells that open up the village gate one of them is broken, so you have to figure out a way to fix that. And there's actually a cat that when you go back to go find a way to fix the bells, you have to go save a cat from some monsters. After saving the cat, you might realize that there's a bell on the cat's collar, can be used to replace the bell in the gatehouse. And then basically from there you are forced to leave your hometown, and then you go off and basically begin a massive adventure of helping out a town filled with people who have lost sight of the fact that actually interacting with people is good, and that staying inside all the time is actually not very good for you. You have to help save a town, or you have to help out a town that has been sucked into What the? Sorry about that, laptop struggles. I'm gonna have to check this voiceover once it's done to see if it's actually usable. But as I was saying, you help out a town that has basically everybody has been sheltered inside because this inventor had built these robotic birds and made a bird messaging system. And so you got to convince people, hey, it's actually okay to go outside your house, it's better for you, it's better for your social life. Then you have to help out this town that when someone else like Gemma fought a monster, the town fell into a sinkhole. And then there's also another town where never mind. But then because throughout the entire game you hear about this thing called the Hold that holds on to static that is created when people live sedentary lives, and when people become apathetic to things, and that as you explore the world, you come to find out that the static is actually just a natural thing, and that these bizarre people were using it to make themselves immortal, and The game's just a lot of fun. The puzzles are very challenging. There were definitely a few times as I was playing it for the first time where I was like, huh? How does this work? But then I would go to bed for the night. I would get up in the morning, do my morning routine, go back to gaming after a while, and then it's like, oh, that's how that works. Okay. And then a little while later, huh? How does that work? And the same process would repeat, and it was just a lot of fun to slowly piece together. But just a very not a very like demanding game apart from like intellectually speaking. Honestly, a very relaxing game in a lot of cases. For all I've got to say about a ranger, like I said before a little bit ago, I'm gonna have to listen to this voiceover, make sure that it isn't corrupted or anything. Next week we'll be talking about No Man's Sky, the sci-fi simulator that was initially in 2016 was one of the most hyped up games of all time. It was supposed to be the game to end all games, and then it was a massive letdown. But then over the years they've added to the game where the game isn't the game to end all games, but it is a much more enjoyable experience, a very fun experience, I would say.